Good morning, everybody. I know the quality of this shoot is going to be a little different. I'm filming from home instead of from the studio, but I think that you guys will enjoy it because I'm trying to get a video out quickly over some news that was just announced. And so let's get into it together here. It was announced last night or yesterday at some point that the next big Terra Raid event is going to be, it's actually going to be Delibird. The Delibird event, there it is going to be Christmas weekend, December 23rd through December 25th. For those of us in the States, that's pretty much Thursday night through Sunday afternoon, this coming Thursday. And the Delibird event is going to be really particularly focused on Terra Raid or Terra type crystals, I believe. You'll also be able to get crystals of various types just by doing the Delibird hunts. And so I myself will be farming quite a bit of Delibird just to raise the level of all of my Terra type crystals. But here's the news that we've all been waiting for that we're excited about, and that is Cinderace will be coming in just a couple weeks to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And this is going to be the next 7-star raid, a lot like Charizard was. But it is a little different. We're going to get into it here in just a moment. All right, so Cinderace, Fire-type starter native to the Galar region. That's the last region that we went to. It's going to be back in a 7-star raid with the Mightiest Mark, just like Charizard had. And here it is. It's New Year's weekend. So December 30th through January 1st. That's just the following weekend after Delibird. And then it comes back 2 weeks later for those who maybe weren't able to or weren't ready to attack Cinderace on New Year's weekend. 7-star Terra raids are very difficult. So I want to spend the next few minutes talking about how are you going to be able to take down Cinderace. This is my early look at it. I've got some really good ideas I hope you guys will appreciate. And I'm getting this video out early enough where you have a couple of weeks here to work on getting these Pokemon ready for battle, and then we can all jump in, party up, and go for it on New Year's weekend. Cinderace is a physical type, so he's physical attacking more so than special, which is a big difference when we're talking about fighting a Terra Raid Pokemon. So he's going to be hitting a lot harder on the physical side, not as hard on the special side. Another thing about Cinderace is he's generally not very bulky, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage in return, but he is very fast, okay? So looking at his different coverage options, here are some of his basic options. High Jump Kick, Flare Blitz, Gunk Shot, Pyro Ball. Pyro Ball will probably be in there over Flare Blitz for obvious reasons. But Sucker Punch, Zen Headbutt, Trailblaze. Trailblaze covers water type resistance, and so part of me thinks they could throw that in just for spiciness. Another thing to look at is what kind of status moves can we expect? And I think Bulk Up is a no-brainer. He's going to be bulking up, raising his defenses as well as his offensive output. I could see Counter. We've seen that on some Terra raids already. If he has Counter, that's going to be a whole different ball game because Counter is it's a little bit difficult to play around. You almost have to hit it specially, or else you're going to be knocking yourself out because they have so much health to work with compared to you. And then other types of status moves, I didn't see anything too big, but we do need to be prepared for Bulk Up and Counter. Maybe he throws in a taunt, probably Will-O-Wisp. I'm not expecting Sunny Day because he doesn't really have anything in his kit that plays around with Sunny Day. He will have Fire as his main type, so he'll still have Stab for those moves. But his Terra type and the type that we'll be needing to attack is Fighting. And so that will make it where we're going to need to be attacking with Psychic types, Fairy types, Flying types, stuff like that. So here's where we get to the interesting nitty-gritty things that a lot of other PokeTubers are not diving into quite yet. But they will, I'm sure. But I wanted to get ahead of the game, and that is damage calculations and looking at who can we use that is going to do well against Cinderace in a group Terra Raid battle style, okay? This is a Pokemon who was very good against Charizard, and that is Sylveon. I have Cinderace set up as a Fire and Fighting type. I know he's not really Fighting type, but that covers for his Terra type. That's going to give him Stab on Fire and Fighting moves, but not on the other moves. 200 in each EV. We don't know exactly how these mons are EV'd, but it gives him just a little bit of a stat boost all around the board. Adamant Nature, that's just worst case scenario. Obviously don't know exactly what nature he'll be. And ability, Libero kind of gets written over by Terra type, and so I don't think Libero is going to affect his underlying damage. I could be wrong on that, but even so, it would only affect it one time, and it wouldn't affect our damage into him. And so, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how exactly that plays. But immediately you see this. Sylveon is getting two-shot by almost every move except for the resisted high jump kick. But even high jump kick's doing over 40% a lot of the time. So Sylveon not looking near as strong into Cinderace as it was into Charizard. Now, why is that? Because it's still a fire type. Still a lot of neutral hits. Not really too much super effective. Well, it's because Sylveon's base defense stat is very low. It's 65. So it's going to take a lot higher damage from physical attacks than it would ever take from special defense. Now let's look at another favorite for attacking Charizard, which was Azumarill. Now, Azumarill is really, really strong. And against Cinderace, I think that it will be as well. But here is a quick edit that I would make, and that is this. We have been running this 252 HP and 252 attack. And when you run that, you're taking quite a bit more damage from Cinderace on this physical side, especially if it happens to carry Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot's going to be two-shotting you. It'll kill you basically after a belly drum. Now, if we swap that, though, and put just the 4 EVs in attack and put your investment into defense, look at how these numbers change. You're taking less than 20% on pretty much every attack, and you're only taking about half from Gunk Shot. So if it carries Gunk Shot, it's still something that we should think about maybe not running Azumarill. But if it's not packing Gunk Shot, then you're completely safe to go defensive Azumarill, belly drum up, and do play roughs, and you're still going to be hitting very, very strong. Now to the Spice, and here is the Pokemon that weren't so great against Charizard that I believe are going to be incredible against Cinderace. The first one being Great Tusk. Great Tusk is strong because of its 130 defense and 115 HP. That means it's incredibly bulky on the physical side. You do not have to worry too much about special defense going into Cinderace. So look at these damage numbers. Ground and fighting. See, you're taking almost nothing from any of these moves, right? Run bulk up on Great Tusk, and you're going to be taking even less because your defense is going to get boosted. Play Rough hits really hard, and Play Rough has a chance at lowering Cinderace's attack as well. And then as you saw at the beginning there, I have Fairy as my typing because if you run Terra Fairy, then your Play Rough start doing even more. That's more damage than a base level Azumarill, by the way, which is crazy. And the only way you're taking extra damage from running that Terry type is if he runs Gunk Shot. So we'll just have to wait and see in terms of what he's using against you. But as you can see, Great Tusk is spitting way more damage than he's taking. I mean, taking 10 to 15% from his strongest moves is incredible. So Great Tusk, this is one that I would highly recommend. Go ahead and train one up, a physically defensive Great Tusk, and prepare him. All you really need is bulk up, play rough. The rest of the moves are up to you. With this is more of a support mon, but it's an incredible one because it resists both of its stab moves. I can't wait for you guys to see this, and that is Armarouge. Armarouge is a fire and psychic type, meaning that it resists Pyro Ball, it resists Iron Head, it resists High Jump Kick, and it doesn't resist Gunk Shot, but Gunk Shot doesn't hit very hard. So, and as you can see, these are the numbers based on not even running any defensive investment. Because it has 100 defense in its base stat total, means that it's already pretty bulky. So I put all of the EVs in HP and special attack, and here's what it looks like. You're taking almost nothing. Why is Pyro Ball at 0? Because you're Flash Fire ability. But here's where it gets even crazier. Why am I taking so little damage? Well, that's because Armarouge has access to a move called Reflect. Reflect is basically the opposite of Light Screen. It makes your whole team's defense stronger over time. And so Reflect, I'm thinking, is going to be a necessary bring for the Cinderace raid because it's going to decrease all of your team's damage that they're taking from Cinderace. So you throw out Armarouge, you use Reflect first, and Reflect automatically boosts up your defense to be higher against Cinderace. Then you use Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is going to burn, as you can see over here, the Cinderace, decreasing his damage even more to the point where you're taking 7% from a high jump kick, which is unheard of. It's ridiculous. It's a very low amount of damage. Even to a neutral hit like Gunk Shot, you're not taking very much at all. Here's what Great Tusk is normally taking, right? Now, if you pair Great Tusk with a Reflect and possibly a Burn from your support mon, let's see how that looks. So Reflect, then we're going to Burn him. Great Tusk is taking less than 5% from any attack. Incredible. Okay, now let's look at Azumarill. Azumarill under Reflect is already looking a heck of a lot better. Even Gunk Shot doesn't even do a quarter some of the time. And then finally, if it's burned and reflected, then you're not taking anything from Cinderace. So, Azumarill, still great. Great Tusk, incredible choice because you're not taking any damage. And Armorogue, very good. Good for damage, but also an incredible support mon with Reflect, Will-O-Wisp, Helping Hand. These would be my choices for taking down Cinderace. So, once again, Azumarill, Great Tusk, and Armorogue. Start training those mons up, and physically defensive versions, Armorogue can be special attack invested, but the others need to be physically defensive. And then we're going to have a great time taking down Cinderace here in just a couple of weeks. So I hope you guys will join us. It's going to be an incredible couple of weekends. Delibird is not like my favorite event, but it is going to be fun for getting resources. And then Cinderace, of course, will be a very hype weekend heading into the new year, 2023. And we're going to be grinding some Cinderace 7-star raids, and it's going to be a blast. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Thanks for checking in to this really quick news update.